Today, we're going to dive into a really powerful, and get this, totally free project that can basically turn your Windows PC into a digital fortress. We're going to see how you can seriously ramp up your security using only the official, built-in tools Microsoft already gives you. It's all about transforming your system from the inside out.
So let me just ask you this straight up. How secure is your PC, really? I mean, yeah, you probably have an antivirus program and you try to be careful online, but is your system truly locked down against the kinds of threats that are out there today? That's exactly what we're here to figure out.
So here's the game plan. First, we'll look at the big picture, the Windows Security Challenge. Then we'll get into a really unique philosophy for hardening your system from within. After that, I'll introduce you to the 2 core tools that make it all happen, and we'll see how they build that digital fortress layer by layer. And we'll wrap up with some crucial security habits that absolutely everyone can start using right away.
All right, let's start by framing the problem. Why is Windows security something we're always talking about? Why is it so critical?
You know, it really just boils down to a numbers game. With billions of people using it, Windows is by far the biggest target out there. We're talking everyone from amateur hackers messing around with pre-written code, all the way up to incredibly sophisticated state-sponsored cyber attackers. Its popularity just means every single user is a potential target, and honestly, the standard out-of-the-box security just isn't always enough.
So this brings us to a really different and, I think, much smarter approach. Instead of just adding more and more third-party software, what if we could get way better security by just using what's already built into the system?
The core idea of this Harden-Windows-Security project is actually pretty brilliant. It doesn't install any new, outside stuff. By simply fine-tuning the security features that are already a part of Windows, it locks the whole system down without actually increasing the attack surface. And that's a huge problem with a lot of third-party tools. They can sometimes open up new holes.
And the project's creators don't mince words. This quote from them says it all. The core belief here is that a lot of those third-party security tools can actually introduce their own vulnerabilities, making your system weaker in the long run, not stronger.
So how does this project actually work its magic? Well, it all comes down to 2 main applications that are designed to work together perfectly.
These are the 2 workhorses of the entire system. And the best part? They're both free, they're open source, and you can get them right from the Microsoft Store. They were really designed to be powerful enough for a big company, but simple enough for you and me to use on our personal computers.
Okay, let's break down what each one does. Think of the Hardened System Security app as your starting point. It goes through and applies these really strong security policies across your whole operating system. It gets rid of features you don't need, and it lets you check if your system is up to snuff. Then, for that next level of protection, you bring in the App Control Manager. This thing lets you get super specific, creating rules to say this app is allowed to run and this app is not. It's total control.
So with these 2 apps, there's a really clear 1-2 punch. The recommended way to do it is simple. First, you build your foundation by running the Hardened System Security app. Once that's all set, you add that second, incredibly powerful layer of control by setting up your application rules with the App Control Manager.
Okay, so we've got the tools. Now let's see how they come together to build a complete security strategy. This isn't just about flipping a few switches, it's about actually constructing a defense with multiple layers.
This right here is a classic concept in cybersecurity, and it's the absolute heart of this project. The idea is that no single security measure is perfect. But if you create multiple independent layers of protection, you make it incredibly difficult, almost impossible for an attacker to break through all of them.
And here's exactly how you build those layers. Step 1 is that broad system hardening we talked about with the first app. Step 2 is the super specific application control from the second app. But when you put them together, that's when you can create Step 3, the ultimate goal, a kernel-level Zero-Trust environment. Basically, it's a state where nothing, and I mean nothing, runs unless you have explicitly said it's allowed to.
So, when you actually achieve that level of lockdown, how effective is it? Well, the project makes a very bold claim. It's effective against about 98% of threats.
And here is the really critical context for that number. That 98% figure isn't just talking about common malware or some random virus. The claim is that this level of security, when you do it right, protects against threats from highly motivated, extremely sophisticated nation-state actors. I mean, that is an unbelievable level of security to be able to get with free, built-in tools.
Now look, even if you don't use these specific tools, we have to talk about the final and maybe the most critical layer of defense, you, the human element.
The project's own documentation gives some fantastic, practical advice that every single Windows user can benefit from. Let's just quickly run through the highlights. First up, software safety. It sounds so basic, but always get your copy of Windows directly from Microsoft. For apps, make the Microsoft Store or Winget, which is Windows' own software manager, your first stop. And here's a great pro tip. Make sure your drives use the NTFS or REFS file systems. This keeps something called the mark of the web on files you download. It's basically a little flag that tells Windows, hey, this came from the internet, so you should be extra careful with it.
Next, your accounts. Multi-factor authentication. MFA should be on everywhere. That's a no-brainer. Even better, go passwordless with your Microsoft account using things like Windows Hello or passkeys. They're actually more secure and way more convenient. And here's a big one. For your daily use, always sign into your PC with a standard Microsoft account, not a local admin account. This seriously limits the damage malware can do if your account ever gets compromised.
And finally, your network. In your Windows settings, turn on Secure DNS. It's also called DNS over HTTPS, and it basically encrypts your web traffic's address book. The source also highly recommends using Microsoft Edge because of how tightly its security features are built in. And for a great privacy boost, turn on random hardware addresses for Wi-Fi. It stops you from being tracked as you move between different Wi-Fi networks.
So the crucial point here is this. These tools are amazing, but they're only one part of the picture. At the end of the day, your habits, how you download software, how you manage your accounts, how you browse the web, that's your final human firewall. And you could argue it's the most important layer of them all.
So we'll leave you with this question to think about. After everything we've covered, from these advanced lockdown tools to just fundamental good habits, what is the one thing you can do right now to make your digital life just a little bit safer? Thanks for tuning in,